This video is for basic facial, and so we're going to start this video as if I've just arrived to work. So when I get to work, the first thing I always do is wash my hands. So I'll go to the sink, wet my hands, get a coin-sized amount of liquid hand soap, wash my hands down to the wrists. I'm going to wash the back of my hands down to the wrists. I'm going to wash my fingers and the back of my fingers. I'm going to wash my fingertips and nails. I'm going to wash between my fingers and my thumbs. I'm going to wash my thumbs. I'm going to wash my wrist. And I'm going to do all of that interlocking washing for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds. Then I'm going to thoroughly rinse my hands under the water. When I feel like I've had that proper rinse, I am going to get some disposable paper towels or a clean towel, and I'm going to turn the faucet off with the towels. I'm going to dry my hands completely. If it's paper towels I use, they're going to go in the trash. The towel would now be dirty, and it would need to go into a closed container until time for laundry. Then I would grab my hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, and I would finish my hand wash with that sanitizer. And once that's complete, I would need to set up and prepare my room for my client that's coming for a basic facial. So what I would do, and I would do as much as I possibly could before my client arrives, because I want to be mindful of my schedule and clients throughout the day, staying on time and on task, but also her schedule or his schedule. They're coming here for a very specific time, for a very specific service, and I want to make sure I'm ready, and so that we can expedite everything and move forward in a proper timely manner. It's super professional, and it's the way that you just want to work. So we're going to disinfect our workstation, our bed, and equipment using a disinfectant wipe and following manufacturer's instructions. We would check equipment to ensure that all devices are in safe working order and plugged into a working receptacle. We would gather clean supplies needed for the facial service, storing in a clean, closed container. We would turn on the hot cabbie and stock with at least 3 clean, wet towels. More may be needed depending on the service and the client's needs. We would fill clean steamer glass with distilled water, and we would go ahead and preheat that steamer. We would dispense products needed for the service according to skin type and client's needs as follows. We would prepare disposable portion cup tray for each product with a portion of the product by opening the top of the container and ensuring the tip of the nozzle does not come into contact with the disposable portion cup tray, or we would remove the product with a disinfected or clean single-use spatula, close the lid to the product, and set the portion cup tray on the tray. We would drape the facial bed using 1 fitted sheet, 1 flat sheet, and 3 towels. Place clean laundered sheets down on the disinfected facial bed, placing a towel horizontally at the head of the bed. We'd lay a hairnet and a headband on top of the first towel, along with a rolled towel to support the head and neck of the client, and we would save the 3rd towel to lay across the client's décolleté. And one other thing to note is I will show you my tray that has been set up. I'm going to do everything I can. Some things you may not be able to dispense just yet, based on not if you know the client or not, or skin type, etc. So just note that for the sake of the video, this stuff has been done, but you may have to just have your light containers and stuff out, but not have it dispensed yet until you know the client. So what we have is I've got, of course, some 4 squares, some 2 squares, some cotton rounds. I've got disposable gloves, and I've got wooden sticked Q-tips for the extraction part, which means I also have astringent. I have water, makeup remover, I've got toner, I have cleanser, I have exfoliant, I have massage product, I have mask, I have eye cream and moisturizer, I've got a brush for my mask part, all of the things that I need to dispense. So I'm ready to go. Just gonna put that out of the way. And then I am going to be meeting with my client to do a client consultation when they arrive. So just a note that I say in every video is that I would always approach and do my client consultation with clean hands. There would never be a time that my hands were not clean. So I've cleaned them, as you saw when I was preparing my room. I will also be cleaning them again before I start the service. So Sorry, just super thirsty and my throat's a little dry and I want to make sure I keep talking. Let's go over the client consultation because this part's really important. You would greet the client and escort them to the work area, and we would be determining the client's preferences. We'll assess the client's needs. We'll assess the client's skin by performing a skin analysis. At this point, you can only look with your eyes at what you see that's exposed on the face and the neck. We want to make sure that there's no inflamed, infected, broken, raised, or swollen skin in the area to be worked on, or an open wound or sore in the area to be worked on, infection or infestation, for example, lice, to prevent from safely performing the service. We will assess the client's consultation form for any medications and products used within the last 72 hours. We'll consult on any known allergies. We'll consult with the client on any facial surgeries within the last 3 months and if the client is under a physician's care. We'll assess if the client is prone to cold sores or fever blisters. We'll assess if the client has used exfoliating or lightening agents within the last 72 hours, like alpha hydroxy acids, beta hydroxy acids, hydroquinone, etc. We'll assess facial injections within the last 3 weeks, like Botox or hyaluronic fillers. And if your client is free from any of those contraindications, you can move forward with the service. One thing to note here is all of that's really important. So you really need to look over their form and you need to talk about it with your client. You need to look at those medications. You need to know what the side effects are. You need to know if some of it's, the reason we talk about all those specific ingredients is a lot of it's very active to the skin, whether it's like thinning it out, whether it's exfoliating it. A lot of medications can affect it and make you the skin more vulnerable or sensitive to certain ingredients or things like the sun. So you have to know all of this before you get into the particular specifics of this service. And as their skincare professional, you're going to want to do everything within your power to make their skin the healthiest and the best you possibly can make it. The last thing that you want to do is harm your client or the client's skin. So taking your time during that client consultation to make sure you're asking the right questions and really getting to know your client will serve you in the long run. So thankfully, our client is good to go. So we are going to get our client into the facial room and giving them some privacy because they're going to change into a drape and then they're going to get under the covers and then you're going to come and knock and find out when it's appropriate for you to enter. And it is. So she has put on her drape and she's gotten into the facial bed. So she's under the blanket. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take those extra steps to make her even more comfortable. I've got my roll towel here that I'm going to put underneath her head. I have that extra towel here that I'm going to put on her décolleté. And of course I have the hairnet that I'm going to utilize to keep the hair out of the face during the service. And once she's nice and comfortable and cozy, you need to wash your hands. So I'm going to wash my hands before I start the service. So I'm going to wet my hands at the sink once again, find that coin-sized amount of liquid hand soap, and I'm going to wash my hands down to the wrists, and I'm going to wash the back of my hands down to the wrists. I'm going to wash my fingers. I'm going to wash the backs of my fingers. I'm going to wash those fingertips and nails, and I'm going to wash between my fingers and my thumbs. I'm going to wash my thumbs, and I'm going to wash my wrists. I'm going to do all of this interlocking cleanse for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds, at which time I will then thoroughly rinse my hands underneath that running water. Once I feel like everything is properly rinsed off, I'm going to grab some disposable paper towels or a towel, turn the faucet off, dry my hands off. Paper towel's in the trash, dirty towel goes into a closed container until time for laundry. And then I'm going to find my 70% ethyl alcohol and I'm going to sanitize my hands. Once my hands are sanitized, I can go ahead and start. And what I want to do first is I am going to, sorry, I'm just thirsty. That hand sanitizer good. I am going to remove her makeup. First step is makeup remover. So I'm going to do that. And remember, some clients wear more, some clients wear less. So just take your time to get, some clients wear none, to get your makeup removed. just drying her off. After her makeup is removed, I am going to do first cleanse. Once you've done all that, you can go ahead and remove the first cleanse. And then you are going to do a real proper skin analysis. So you're going to want to protect your client's eyes because you're going to bring in the magnifying lamp. And I'm not going to turn it on so it doesn't mess up our video, but it would be really, really bright. And what you're doing now is you're really taking the time to do that proper skin analysis, looking through a Woods lamp or a magnifying lamp. So I'm just going to move it out of the way so we can talk about the importance of what we're doing here. So you're really going to take the time at this point to look for all of the things that you are hoping to coach your client on for the best skin health. And also, maybe they've given you some specific goals of things they want you to help them with. Maybe it's hyperpigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles, dehydrated skin or dryness. Maybe they're on the opposite end of the spectrum. Maybe they have excess sebum, breakouts. Maybe they're concerned about being dehydrated too, but they're still breaking out. So many things to think about. And it's your job while you have that magnifying lamp or woods lamp on to really look and analyze all parts of the skin so that you can get this amazing service done today where they're really going to see an immediate response in a positive way with their skin, but and they're going to go away feeling amazing, but you're also going to be able to then help them identify the best, most effective products for their at-home use because they're at home much more than they are with you. So you want to make sure you're doing that, and then also figuring out like maybe the next services that will continue to build that skin health to get them to their optimum skin results that they're going for, that you're going for, what you're working on together, because you're really a team working on your skin together. And that's something you can communicate with your client. The other thing is, because you are their skin expert, you need to really get to know their skin and you need to make notations about it. So you need to be either working in your client profile card or you need to be doing it in your software system, and you need to be putting everything that you see down about the skin, not only for this visit, but maybe they're going to call you in a few days and ask you some questions, or you can say, yes, this is going to be an area of opportunity. You're going to see some change here. Maybe you're going to see some dead skin sloughing off here. Like, help them know what's going to happen. And then also, if there is anything that you see as a potential area to watch, whether it's mole or freckle or something like that, to look for any changes going forward, because you may notice under the magnifying lamp or the woods lamp faster than they would at home if something changes, and then it's your professional obligation to let them know if they need to go to see a physician or something that's beyond your scope of practice. So you're going to take the time to do all that. I know it's a lot, but it's just a great, important tool to be able to use that lamp. So we've moved it, we've turned the light off. We're going to take off the cotton rounds now, and we're going to go to cleanse number 2. And then you're going to wipe off your second cleanse. and then it's time for the third and final cleanse. So you haven't got anything now, you're not going to be able to get it, so get it all off now. There should not be any dirt or debris left on makeup left on this girl at this point. When you're done. And you'll remove third and final cleanse. Once your cleansing steps are finished, you're going to tone. And I'm going to use a sprayer for my toner, and I'm going to make sure the nozzle does not come into contact in any way with my little 2x2s. And once you finish that toning step, you're going to move forward to exfoliation. So I'm going to get a little bit of exfoliator, and I'm just going to spread it about a pea size, spread it around my client, face and neck, and what I'm going to do is massage it in based on manufacturer's instructions for about 1 to 2 minutes. And what you want to note here is that you're not going to get, of course, you're going to avoid the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. We're going to do that for everything. So you just want to decide, like you're figuring, you've already determined what type of exfoliant, so then you know kind of like your flow and how you're applying it and what you're doing. Just be mindful, of course, that you always follow those instructions. And so I'm going to be massaging it in here for, like I said, 1 to 2 minutes. Once you've massaged it in for that time frame, we're just going to go over what the next steps are, because I don't have that machine here, so I'm just going to talk about what happens next. So what happens next is you will be bringing over that facial steamer, and you're going to turn it to the on position, but you're going to make sure that it's next to the facial bed, but facing away from your client, as the water will heat up and emit an even outflow of a mist. Once the steamer is emitting a mist, you can position the steamer 16 inches over the client's face, aim it at the client's chin for even distribution on the face, and then you'll allow the unit to function for 3 to 5 minutes. Remove the steamer from the client's face, return the steamer to its previous location for disinfection. So you will bring that facial steamer over to the side of the bed and make sure that it's facing away from your client and turn it on. This is what you preheated, you put distilled water in, you did all that before the client even arrived. Then you'll turn, once it's giving you that even flow of the mist, you turn it towards your client's chin and about 16 inches away, and then it's going to mist evenly up and over the face, and you're going to do that for 3 to 5 minutes. So we will obviously not be doing that for the video. We don't have the equipment, and we're not going to do that timeline, but just pretend like we have. So 3 to 5 minutes has elapsed. You'll turn it away from the client, and you're going to turn it off, take it back over to where it was, and leave it there until it's time to disinfect it. And then you'll be able to remove the exfoliation product at this point. So I also don't have a hot cabbie, so I'm just going to pretend as if I do, and I'm going to retrieve my towel from my hot cabbie, and it's really hot, so I'm shaking it out, and I'm going to test that temperature on my wrists. And then once I feel like it's warm, not hot, I'm going to test it on my client's collarbone, and she also feels like it feels great. So I'm going to make my pretty fold, and then I'm going to wrap it all around my client's face, leaving her nose out so she can breathe, and I'll press it in there. So if you didn't have a facial steamer like I don't, you could be using hot towels to do this too from your cabbie. If you had that, you would just change them out as they cool off for that allotted timeline as well. And you have about 20 to 30 seconds before you start to feel it cool down, and so then you'll start to remove your exfoliant. sure you get it all off. And once you've done that, you would need to dry your hands thoroughly because you need to apply gloves because you're going to do extractions now if your client needs them. So I'm going to put on my disposable gloves. Also going to cover her eyes back up because I'm going to bring my magnifying lamp back in so I can perform the extractions. She doesn't have a lot, but I want to be able to see what I'm doing. The other thing that you want to keep in mind is that is how you do your extractions. So you could use cotton rounds and you could soak them in astringent and you could put them around your fingers and you could work your way around and then you would like around the cotton round and then trash it. I'm going to use wooden stick Q-tips soaked in astringent. So for each pair is one extraction and then you toss it in the trash. So I'm going to soak it and then I'm going to go in to perform my extractions. So I'm going to be getting a new set every time I work, soaked in astringent. You know how it is with these masks these days. A lot of people have congestion in the chin and the nose area because they wear them all day. One more. And so you would be tossing all of your wooden stick Q-tips. I'm going to turn my magnifying lamp off and take it up and out of the way. I can remove these, throw them away, and then I would be taking off my disposable gloves and throwing them away. And then I'm going to tone. So you exfoliate, you extract, and you tone. And once again here, I'm going to be spraying, but my nozzle will not touch my 2 squares. And then after you tone, the good news is after that extraction, you're going to get to go into the massage. One thing I did not note about extractions is you do not want to perform that service for more than 5 to 7 minutes because you don't want the client to be uncomfortable. So that's about all you can do. And now we're going to go in and we're going to retrieve some massage product, and we are going to take the time here to give our client a proper massage. So you want to make sure that you have enough of your massage product on your hands when you go in to perform your massage, because you want to be able to take the time to do your massage without having to have your hands leave your client. So I'm just spreading that massage product out on my client right now, and then I'm going to start that service. Okay, so I don't want to have to leave and go back and scoop out some more, so make sure you have enough when you start your massage already on your client or on your hands. And then you're going to remove the massage product. And then after you remove the massage product, it's time to apply the mask. I'm going to use my brush to do that. And like everything else, you're going to avoid the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Always following manufacturer's directions, of course. And based on the type of mask and manufacturer's instructions and all of that, like whatever you're doing, your mask is going to remain on the client for 5 to 10 minutes, depending. So just make sure you read, follow those instructions. We're not going to sit here for 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and remove that mask product as if 5 to 10 minutes had already elapsed. once the mask is removed, you can tone. So I'm going to stay away from my cotton rounds with my sprayer. And once you're finished with your toner, you're going to apply your skincare. It's daytime, so we're going to apply a little bit of eye cream first. So we are going to take a tiny bit on our ring fingers, and we are going to do a light tap on that brow bone and the zygomatic arch, applying it all the way around the eye. And then we are going to apply our moisturizer with a sunscreen. We've already discussed the importance of SPF, how critical it is. She is going to try our SPF in her aftercare kit, but she's got some other things that she really feels like are priorities today because she's got some sunscreen at home, which I was super proud of her for that. So we are going to discuss all of that, but we're getting all of her skincare on. Make sure I get it everywhere, evenly distributed, and then we're going to finish our facial. And once we're done, we'll give her some privacy so that she can change back into her clothes, and then she'll come and meet with us out in that client waiting room, and that way we can finish up and get her checked out. So what we're going to do at that point is we're going to go over any maintenance and aftercare. We're going to discuss products that she's going home with, because remember, she's going to do more at home and be with herself more at home than she will be with us, and we're going to get her scheduled for her follow-up appointment. And then we're going to get her checked out and on her way. So we've done all that, and now you've got another client coming in, so you need to get back to your room and get it cleaned up. So the first thing that you're going to do is discard any single-use items that you haven't already discarded. You're going to get any dirty implements, put them in a closed container labeled to be disinfected. You're going to remove all the bedding from your facial bed, the towels, all the things that you use. You're going to make sure that they're in a closed container until it's time for laundry later. And then you are going to identify a proper cleansing agent. You're going to read and follow manufacturer's directions for using that cleansing agent. And then you're going to wipe down all of your work areas, surface, bed, everything, to remove any traces of debris that might be there. You're going to identify a disinfectant that is bactericidal, virucidal, fungicidal, and EPA approved for use in a salon setting, which means you're going to need to get another pair of disposable gloves. You're going to put those on, and then you're going to follow manufacturer's directions for mixing and or using appropriate aerosol disinfectant. You'll disinfect electrical equipment. You'll store it in a clean area separate from other implements, and then you will throw those gloves away because it's time for your final hand wash. So you'll head to the sink, wet your hands, get a coin-sized amount of liquid hand soap. You're going to wash your hands together down to the wrist. You're going to wash the back of your hands down to your wrist. You're going to wash your fingers, and you're going to wash the backs of your fingers. You're going to wash your fingertips and your nails. You're going to wash between your fingers and your thumbs. You're going to wash your thumbs, and you're going to wash your wrists. You're going to do all of that proper wash for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds, and then you're going to thoroughly rinse your hands under the water. When they're rinsed, you'll grab either disposable paper towels or a clean towel, turn the faucet off, dry your hands completely, toss the dirty paper towels in the trash. If you used a clean towel, it's now dirty and it needs to go in with that other laundry in the closed container until time for laundry. Get your hand sanitizer, 70% ethyl alcohol, sanitize your hands. And when you've done all of that, you are finished and you can set up for your next client. So that concludes your basic facial video.